Shalom, shalom, shalom. I would first like to begin the lesson off by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Kodash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elder bishops at Great Millstone who told me the truth through the spirit and the power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. Peace and salutations to the brothers out there pushing the truth, the 100% truth out there on the highways and the byways, the Akim, as well as if you sisters out there listening and learning the Aqua to you. Also, I say shalom. It is your brother, Righteous Arkabar, back with another lesson through the spirit, man. Just wanted to come at y'all with something quick and Lord willing edifying. I'm in transit right now, but nonetheless, like I said, just wanted to come at y'all with something quick and Lord willing edifying. I was listening to a song by the Ghetto Boys just a moment ago called "Blind Leading the Blind." Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. Blind Leading the Blind. Right now, this is a song that my dad put me on. My pops put me on a while ago. It's like some years ago. And then I thought about it and I was just thinking about it once again. And if you know, just go and listen to the lyrics, man. They pretty much, the Ghetto Boys came out in like the 80s. So it kind of talks about really how our people have been fucked up as a whole as far as the crack epidemic and things of that nature. About how pretty much in our community we have bad influences around us at all times. And pretty much things that go on that really influence us as a people, man. That's not necessarily the best things to do or even follow, right? And I started thinking about, the scripture where it talks about the same thing that the song is titled after. This is the book of Matthew, the 15th chapter and the 14th verse. It says, "Let them alone. They be blind leaders of the blind. And if the blind lead the blind, both shall fall into the ditch," man. That is Jake as a whole, right? If you look at the different type of influences that we have in our community, there's a reason why the Lord said we're going to be a proverb and a byword to the other nations. Pretty much a laughingstock to nations that are inferior to us in the Lord's eyes, and then even in our eyes really should be. But nations that are inferior to us is backwards in this kingdom, so it's made to seem like they're actually better than us. And the lowliest of men is actually looked at as being the superior race, which is in fact which is indeed what's the word I'm looking for? False, not factual, whatever. But this is Deuteronomy 28 and 37. It says, "And thou shalt become," well, let me get this verse 36. "The Lord Yahweh shall bring thee and thy king which thou shalt set over thee unto a nation which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, and there shalt thou serve other gods, wood and stone," right? Was Babylon the Great, man, the little horn that rose up after this, man, 3 other kingdoms or 3 other nations is the place that is being talked about right here, because America sprung up from what? France, Great Britain, and Spain pretty much, and became its own country. It wasn't a country of old, so to speak. For instance, like a Egypt or a Ethiopia or like a Greece, or Rome, right? It says, and thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb and a byword among all nations, whither the Lord Yahweh shall lead thee, right? So looked at as a laughing stock, as a joke, right? As being ignorant, savages, thieves, right? Which are all things that truly describe Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, but have been put on us as labels. And they've done a good job of making us really play that role as the wicked people of the earth when we're really not. And, you know, like I said, through the influences in our culture and within, you know, the Israelite community, we have wicked leaders and wicked rulers, as we did in, you know, the book of Judges. I said it's like the book of Judges, the book of Kings, you know, during that time period, which is some books that I need to read, but that's just from what I've heard. It talks about, you know, that's for some of the stories that I have read, a few stories from those books. But in the NLT, it says, you will become an object of horror, ridicule, and mockery among all the nations to which the Lord Yahweh sends you, right? So being labeled crack babies and crack kids and all this other stuff, right? Things that don't actually fit us, right? Of course they fit us in this society that we're in because, you know, the plagues were sent on us, and our people were plagued with that for a very long time, right? And these other nations, you know, they look at us as savages, as being something lesser than what we truly are and what we were truly made to be, right? But very soon, you know, we're going to get our glory back when Yahweh Shah returns and in Jacob's trouble. Really the men of Yahweh Shemal Shah. But us as a people as a whole, we're going to get our glory back, you know, in the kingdom, man, where we're going to be able to dwell and rule forever, Lord willing. So, you know, as we're in this captivity right now, and the fact that people can say, oh, we're not under any curses, that's a lie, you know, we're not in captivity. If you're not in captivity, just stop paying taxes then. That's just one way. That's one example. If you're not in captivity, then don't pay taxes and see what the fuck happens to you, right? Don't pay taxes since you're not in captivity, right? Since you're not a tributary, don't pay taxes to the government and see what happens. They're going to send your black ass to jail. Prison, shall I say. But yeah, man, if you haven't listened to that song before, I highly advise that you listen to it, you know, because it talks about things that, you know, us as a people have been afflicted by and have gone through, unfortunately, through us being under the curses and under the plagues for not listening to the Lord, right? Which we deserved. You know, we committed spiritual adultery by worshiping other idols and false gods and wanting to be likened unto the heathen nations, you know, and just taking on to their customs, right? We wanted to be like them so much, the Lord gave us unto their authority. And now you're starting to see more and more the fact that, it's being more, it's becoming more and more noticeable, you could say, or known throughout the land that the wicked are in rulership, number one, and number two, you know, the people are mourning more and more. It's a damn groundhog. That the people are mourning more and more, man. So they can't wait for the righteous to be in rulership. I'm gonna say that number one, first and foremost. The whole earth to stop mourning at that point in time, and even the heathen nations, even though they're not going to receive salvation, you know, they'll be better off when we're back in rulership, man. So, you know, for people to say, or for Jake to say, oh, we're not under the curses, even though we were scattered amongst the nations, right? Israelites all over the face of the earth. You know, we're going through trials and tribulations on a daily, right? Plagues, which are eventually going to start coming upon us, right? He talked about, you know, some of the ghetto boys talked about, you know, being on crack and stuff like that, like our people being fucked up, drunk, all this other stuff. Niggas want to be thugs and gangsters, right? Things that promote our people to commit wickedness and iniquity, right? Our women being a bunch of hoes, wanting to twerk all the goddamn time and throw their ass and shake their ass and stuff like that. You know, that type of shit is what really shines a bad light on our people as a whole, man. And unfortunately, we're gonna be subject to that until these last few prophecies come to pass. You know, and these damn 2/3 are gonna get judged for that shit, right? Because they love wickedness. They love it. They loathe in it, or so I said loathe, which was loathe, of course, means hate. But they bathe themselves in it. That's a better word to say, right? They love to do wickedness. You know, Jeremiah 4:22. But very soon, right, those plagues that we've been subject to, and the curses and stuff like that are going to be sent upon the heathen. You know, the roles are going to be reversed, and these heathen nations are going to start going back to their natural state, which they already have been, man. You know, they already been going back to their natural estate, man. So it's just a matter of time and patience, right? This is Deuteronomy 30:7. It says, "And the Lord Yahweh thy God will put all these curses upon thee, so like upon thy enemies, and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee," right? The Israelites, we have a lot of enemies, man. Lots of them. You know, these other nations are not fond of us at all, right? They hate on us, number one. Well, it's for two reasons, really. See, this little girl dressed like a little Tatiana. But nonetheless, though, man, the other nations have hated on us because they can't get the glory that we have, that our people don't even realize that we have. That's the funny part. They hate on us for having glory, you know what I'm saying, favor from the Lord. And our people can't even see that we have favor from the Lord, which is sad, man. So it says, verse 8, "And thou shalt return and obey the voice of Yahweh, and do all his commandments, which I command thee this day," right? And once we get back to that portion, man, you know, everything's gonna be restored in the house of Israel, man. And that's gonna be a beautiful day. No, that'll be when we get our rest as servants, right? Servants of the Lord. Our job would have been fulfilled by that point. You know, so just hastening the day of the Lord's return, man. All in all, hastening that day, hoping and waiting for it to come to pass. You know, so it's only a matter of time at this point, man. It's only a matter of time. Continue to watch, pray, you know, and just be faithful above all else. So with that, man, approaching my destination. I know it's quick, but Lord willing, it was edifying to those out there listening and watching. And from there, I'm going to close it off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rahachak Wadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elder bishops at Great Millstone, once again, who taught me this truth through the spirit and the power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. And until next time, I say Shalom Israel, Shalom. And as always, we're one day close to the kingdom, man. Keep pushing, keep pushing, keep pushing. Shalom Israel, Shalom.